Welcome to No Strings Attached Street Ministries, the Grumpy Band series. It's a grumpy old minister. Anyway, today I'm going to teach you how to use your onions and still get a nice little treat and not have to spend a little fortune to get one. So I'm going to give you my take on a bloomin' onion. And I mean, you go into a restaurant and get this right here, they'd probably charge you, I think they charge like $11, $12 for one. So you cut your end off of it, make sure you're all cleaned up. And what you do is you just go through here and you literally slice little petals, just like this. I do mine like this, it's a little bit easier. And you can just chop them this way too if you want, just straight across. Don't really make that much difference as long as you're going in the right direction where you're getting the petals. Anyway, see what I'm saying. Now you know my theories. These are shopping bags. You can pick up a handful of them every time you go shopping. You don't have to try to save them. I just get new ones. The ladies like, you know, I ask them and they say, sure, take all you want. I'm sure they'll probably get yelled at for doing that. But I don't take a lot. I just, you know, have some to use. But see, I put them all in this bag and I bust them all up here. Break them all apart, make little petals, as you can tell. Separate them all out. They just make nice little petals. I just got done making a slider series. This was inspired by a meal that I went out to last night. So I figured I would do my copy on it. I mean, the bill was almost $50 for 3 little people. And I'm like, my goodness. And literally all we had was sliders and a bloomin' onion. It was well over $50. And I'm like, well, man, that's crazy how people will spend that kind of money for this food. So I'm doing this, all the sliders and the bloomin' onion, for well under $6. And that's pretty much done for everything that I'm using here. And I'm cooking right in a Walmart parking lot, believe it or not. So yeah, I just go over to the side of the building, sometimes around the back, find a nice good little spot where I'm not bothering nobody. People don't bother you. Alright guys, now this is my take on it. I would crack an egg in here, probably make it a little bit thicker. But on the crust, I usually do an egg with sriracha. But today on the van I don't have any eggs. And I really don't plan on getting any eggs for the next week or so. So I figured, well, I'll do it this way. So just take a little bit here, squirt on there, not a lot. You don't need to waste your sriracha, it's good stuff. Take your hands and just sort of mix it all together, get them all coated. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Just get them all coated out. Spread those suckers all out everywhere. You have to get them all coated. Spread them out. Yep, let them sit there and marinate for a while. Yep. You just gotta let them marinate a little while until at least you can find the other stuff that you're supposed to have. Lucky for you, I found it. Hey, this ain't no prepared type show like them pros out there cooking. I'm showing you real-time stuff. So anyway, I always use all-purpose self-rising flour. I think it's a self-rising. No, this is just all-purpose flour. That's what I meant. And just take this here, sprinkle it all over them. That's maybe a couple tablespoons, if that. I need to put this back in I ran out of my little container, so I'll have to fill that back up. That's why I couldn't find it. So what you do here, take this bag and you just sort of toss them around in there till they're all nicely coated. Yep, just about like that. And you keep opening until you see them sort of like that. Now what you do, guys, is you spread those around again. There's one little piece that didn't come apart, so I have to redo him. Well, anyway, the key of this is to set them off to the side and let them set. What they do is that flour on there starts to absorb the moisture, and it sort of gets this like gooey type coating on there. And what I do is I just leave those set in there until I get ready to cook them up. That's why everything is a mess. So, take a small skillet. I'm out of my peanut oil, that's what I usually use. So I gotta use some of my vegetable oil here. Not a whole lot. Maybe about an inch in the pan. See, not a whole lot. Put your sriracha back up. Might want to use that again one day. Not have it run down the highway. Go bouncing down the highway or somewhere, or leave it in the parking lot somewhere. So you gotta just sort of use them. Alright, crank that thing on, let that thing start getting hot. I'm sorry it's taking so long, guys, but I don't know how to edit, and I don't have any kind of editing program. So my videos have got to come out the way they come out, and I apologize for that, but I'm an old man. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, but I just can't do it. I can't seem to figure it out. But you give me a 351 motor, or you give me something else, you give me a house to build, I can build it blindfolded. Don't knock me. I even have the talents of even repairing broken hearts. And I do what I do best. But you know what? None of us can do everything good. I mean, the only reason I even know how to cook at all is because my grandma and mom told me that they wasn't about for me to go out in this world and get married to some girl that don't know how to cook. So they said, well, at least you'll know how to cook and you won't go hungry, and we don't have to worry about you. Which is actually pretty nice. You know, I'm really happy, and I actually enjoy cooking, believe it or not. Cooking is something that is very relaxing for you. You know, if you just take time to take peace and take it all in. And remember, guys, it's not about having the 3 meals a day. That's what people have so much problems in America, because they feel they've been trained that they have to eat 3 times a day. It's got to be a big giant meal every day. And then the other end, when people started rebelling against it, they went back to the other side of the coin, and now they're ripping everything apart and chewing on grass and stuff. I mean, and they're starving themselves. They're turning into anorexics or some kind of a disease, I think. But it's like, you know, why do that to yourself, you know? The thing is put yourself on a window where you can, you know, if you do get hungry, eat. Fine. Go make you a good meal, a good solid meal, something that stick to your gut. Make it up, and then for that next window, you got 3 hours there that you can pretty much eat, snack, or whatever you want to eat during that 3 hours. And then after that 3 hours, stop. Don't eat again until tomorrow. And I usually set mine around about 2 o'clock, 2 to 4, and then I might have maybe a second helping or something like that, you know, at the very end, you know, just to get me on through. But that's how I've actually lost about 40 pounds doing that. And I haven't really changed what I eat, it's just how I eat. It's actually pretty amazing. But anyway, you see how your oil's starting to like bubble up a little bit here. That's indication that you're getting pretty close to where you need to be. So you put a test pedal in there, and it seems like it's bubbling pretty good. So I'll give it just a few more seconds to get a little bit warmer, because when you add these stuff to it, it does cool it down again, and I don't want to do that. But see, what you do is you just take these little pedals and you sprinkle them in. That's all you do. It's that easy. Cook a little bit at a time. You ain't got to do a whole lot. I cook about half and half. Don't mess with them. Don't touch them. Just sort of. That's the first time I ever done it without an egg, so most likely the coating will probably fall off. So I usually even double dip them at that. You know, put them back in the egg mixture again, double dip them. But I just didn't have no eggs, so I just sort of did this to give you an idea of what I'm doing. And yeah, just let these things cook down. They'll probably just be a little bit lighter of a cook. Now see, I got a tin can with a lid that I use. I'll pour this oil in here, and tomorrow I got some chicken thighs that I'm going to have for dinner. So I'll probably end up doing a pan fry chicken thighs, and I'll probably just go and use this oil once again. And then after that, I usually just discard it. I don't try to carry it around, because I mean, you're in the van, so it's getting hot. You don't want it to go rancid on you or anything, so there's no reason to get sick. That's why I use very small bottles of anything that I get, and I consume it before I even use it. You know, have a chance to use it up, and it don't sit in a hot van all day long. So that's my theory on it. There's no reason to have to worry about spending $2 for a bag of ice and it lasting overnight. It can get pretty expensive, believe it or not. So, I mean, even running my little ice machine, I mean, you know, it's crazy. I got a little, one of those about a foot by foot by foot, you know, square soft side coolers. In the morning, I'll start my machine up, my ice machine, pour in 32 ounces of water, let it run about 45 minutes, it fills it up. I dump it into my thing, into my cooler. It starts cooling my cooler down. And while it's cooling and making more ice, I'll go into the store and do my shopping. And when I get back, I'll put all my food into my bag, into that little bag that I'm going to eat that day, to keep it, you know, a little bit cooler. And then I'll just dump the other ice out. Might just take a glass of ice out for maybe something to drink, ice water, or you know, usually tea or something like that, or Coke. I like Coke, so I'll make me a nice beverage, and then that's the start of my morning. So that's how I do it. So good luck with that. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a pointers to where you really don't have to. Of course, I mean, it's different when you're out in the market, you know. I mean, you know, because you know you're out in the woods or something like that or whatever. You got to take it with you. But I'm a city dweller, so that's what I do. I dwell in the city, so I have access to all that. And what else am I going to do all day long with my time? You know what I'm saying? So, don't those look good? I mean, honestly, look how nice they are. Nice and light, crispy. You just scoop them out, let them drain a little bit. And I'll hold my little bag up here. And I'll shake off more. Yeah. Dribble them in there. And like I said, you know what? It's a nice little snack. You don't have to cook a lot. I mean, and that's honestly more than what I probably should have. But I wanted to finish up that onion, is why I made that much. But, you know, you can make it simple. You don't have to go with all the big fancy techniques of all the machinery and everything else to cut it in a little onion. And, I mean, besides, when they cut all that, they usually destroy it anyway. So, you know, you spend all that money on that stuff, and it don't even work. Well, see, it's not even about maybe a half of a teaspoon of wasted flour. But, I mean, you could save it if you want to, but it's not bad. Why? I mean, you don't have to have a pound or 3 cups of flour to flour 1 onion. Use your head. Use the bag method, even at home. It saves all the hassle. You don't have to clean a plate. As you saw, I didn't have to clean no plates, no bowls, no nothing. Did it right out of a Target bag. One to beat it all. I got my results. So, how much nicer can you do with that, huh? This is the sliders that we made on the last video.